Well, hello everybody. Dan Cairns here from Ontario, Canada. And I would like to know what you think of starting up a coalition throughout Canada for all Canadians. The Ccftc, which stands for Canada's Coalition, Farmers, Truckers, and Canadians. With all the controversy going throughout Canada right now, the discrimination that we're hearing with our democracy in the parliament, we all know who we're talking about here. I was wondering what you were thinking on how we can change Canada better. We all have our ideas of how we're going to do it. Though there's so much going on in politics these days. It's wild. Now, we know what happened in Ottawa when our rights got taken away from us through the truckers' convoy. How many people got arrested? How many people were hurt? It goes beyond that. But it is a big part of our democracy. Canadians have a right to be able to stand up and not have their Charter of Rights or their human rights policies taken away from them. Now, we all could possibly get this registered as the Canadian Coalition. It's for truckers, farmers, and Canadians, or vice versa, farmers, truckers, and Canadians. All Canadians. People on disability, proper water, proper drinking water. There's some communities around that I know for a fact that have bad drinking water. I don't want to fray off too far on this right now of where this water problem is. Though Shillington and Holt Tyler, Ontario, Canada, is two places that do come to mind. And we sure don't want another Waterton water tragedy anywhere across the province of Canada. The Indigenous communities in some parts of northern Ontario, Canada, do not have proper homes, do not have proper drinking water to drink from. It's polluted. I had seen videos of people, are human beings, Canadians, living out of tents. Is that humane? Our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, has been in power for years and has not once rectified this situation. We've seen political parties jumping from one side to get these through. Now, I would like to say, how about we all get together in regards to this and started up our own party throughout Canada. Now, it's totally up to you guys of what you would like to see happen here. Yeah, I'm trying to get the word out here to all kinds of people. And it's hard. As you see, I'm a disabled person. And I might not be the smartest cat in the litter box. Though I have a hard time with my reading, my writing, my spelling, of course, writing, spelling, and understanding big words. I do not speak French. I do not speak any other language but English. I do know some French words. I am a minister. I have my papers here. I have my doctoring, counselor's papers. Does that make me any better than any one of you out there? I don't think so. We're all Canadians. Regardless of your nationality, your religion, whatever, we all bleed the same. Now, I'm hoping this is live. I hope I did the right thing here. And I hope that I know what the heck I'm doing here to help people out here in Canada. Now, our rights were violated. The discrimination that are paid by these big lawyers that like to threaten people is what I've heard and saw, and think that they're above the law. Well, Canada's Coalition for Farmers, Truckers, and Canadians can make a change on that. Have their word in Parliament. Make their vote count. This is what I'm thinking. I'd like to know what you guys think. I would like to know where to go with this. And I don't know how else to say it. Now, like I said, I'm no better than anybody else out there. I thought about this, and I thought myself that it would be a good idea. Now, we all know who we would like in on the next election. If there was any insight from any of you people, then please let me know. To get this off the ground, we're going to need funding. People out there are starving. People out there are out of work. People's rights before this bill C-11 comes through from Justin Trudeau to shut us all up so we can't talk freely has to be stopped. Is there another platform out there that besides Facebook or Google or or YouTube that's going to shut us down that we could use to communicate through? I am not a happy person. It doesn't like me, and I really don't like it, but here I am today. The discrimination coming out of Parliament towards Canadians, the interference, not only from China, interfering in Canadian business. And Justin Trudeau knew about this, right? But you guys ever sit back and think about Christine Freeland and Dr. Theresa Tam? They're sitting in Switzerland, ladies and gentlemen. They're sitting in Switzerland and taking our business from our federal legislation over there to the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization. Now you talk about a leak, and they're talking about CSIS. Somebody talking about CSIS spilling the beans. What about these people? And Justin Trudeau knows about it. This, believe it or not, for years, everybody says God save the Queen. But if you think about it, the Queen's in England, not in Canada, not on Canadian soil. That's British. Okay? The law states that any other country sets foot on Canadian soil, it's against the law for them to do. I could go deeper on this. The senators are appointed by the Queen. Well, the Queen now is deceased. There's no king yet. And the king should not grandfather in on the Queen's business of 1867. Now, if Judge Rouleau says that our Charter of Rights and freedom to speak and freedom of speech and our human rights does not comply because of the year it was written, then neither should the Queen or any laws governed by Britain, England, or any foreign country like that in Canada. I believe this. That means we'd have no senators here, no commissioners here. And us as Canadians throughout Canada, through our own party, coalition party, gathered by truckers, farmers, and Canadians, can have a say in Parliament. Now, we all know that Pierre Poilievre is the gentleman we would like in as president. And over the years, we've watched the Liberal Party disgrace us. We're a G7 country. The World Economic Forum is trying to change us. Who's on chair? I've said it before. Christine Freeland. The treason in this country, the the mockery that this government that is in power, the embarrassment to all Canadians. And he said, and Trudeau said it himself, he likes China. But at least we cannot be bought out as Canadians. We can say, no, that's it. No, we're not abiding by your rules. But C11 censors us all. It's our freedom of rights if we want to go on the internet. It's our freedom of rights and speech and what we want to govern throughout Canada. And how we want to govern. Now, there's a lot of talk about school boards. I know for a fact there's a lot of corruption in the Canadian court systems that has to be cleaned up. There's a lot of corruption in Parliament that we all know about. I don't have to go into detail. But if we could stand behind Pierre Poilievre, because that's who everybody wants in for our next Prime Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, we can do this. We can do this. If we get our help from Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives to set this Ccftc up, Canadian Coalition, Canada's Coalition, Farmers, Truckers, and Canadians, and we get enough votes in to get us into Parliament, to have our say, then we can take sides and have more votes than the Liberals and NDP put together, if the NDP don't want to join us. I think we could do good with this. But I don't know. I got a grade 11, grade 12 education. I sure in the heck would put trust in somebody that's got a better education. I don't know how to spell or read very good. I got enough to get by. Though I am not rich. But I'm rich at heart, like every last single one of you are. Some of you's got better ideas. We sit back, we talk about it all together and figure out what's best for Canada. Not like somebody's trying to do dividing us now. The North from the South, the East from the West, pulling on our hamstrings. Like we all know who that is. Yeah, I smoke. What? Everybody has their say in this. Everybody. And there's a lot of things at the top of the page. They're trying to censor the non-media from saying whatever. They're trying to censor what people want to talk about on the World Wide Web. Trudeau thinks that C11, if he put it through, is going to censor us. He can't. It's a waste of Canadians' taxpayers' money, which he is blowing on his trips to other countries for vacations, for his family. If I'm involved in this, ladies and gentlemen, then I will not be taking a trip if I don't have to. People can come to us and try and talk to us openly. If there's any more inquiries, it's done open so all the public can see. I told you I'm on a disability. Okay? And I'm going to show you something here, ladies and gentlemen. All right? I count the days till the end of the month. If I show you over there, you see that cover? That's bare. Just like my fridge is. We live on pasta. And I'm not the only one out there that lives on pasta. Be lucky to get any type of meat in our houses. Yes, I own this place. I own it outright. I'm one of the lucky ones. This house needs a new roof on it. The insurance companies. There's another one. I had insurance on this place. Wind come along and blew the back off it. The insurance company has the direct deposit for right out of my bank account in their office. And they canceled my insurance because wind, rain damage, now snow out the back here, is blowing off my back. They canceled it for a non-payment when they had a direct deposit. This is another thing that would be looked into throughout Canada. Insurance. How these insurance companies want to work. If they want to pull that and give people a hard time on a payout, which I have to take them to court. Now I have to take food out of my mouth, out of my common law wife's mouth, out of our little dog's mouth, to take them to court. It's going to cost me for a printer with ink to print the documents off. I cannot find a lawyer throughout Canada to take the case against the insurance company. This is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. I don't know how many of you guys out there are in the same boat, but we're all in it together. All of us. Not just one, not just two, but all of us. There's so much rhetoric going on. It's crazy. I remember growing up in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, going to school. The power that these school boards think that they have on people. The power that the insurance companies have. They can get into files of the police station and find your vehicle if they've got it first before the police call you. The Crown attorneys, which is illegal, can go into your bank account and do it a print off. Now, what are we supposed to do about this? Do these big lawyer firms want to try and stop us? They want to charge me? They want to shoot me? They want to kill me because I'm standing up for Canadians' rights? So be it. So be it. Because underneath the Ontario Disability Act, subsection 1 of subsection 2, nothing can be seized, garnished, or executed under any laws, under any acts. Though Justin Trudeau is trying to change that with his Bill C-11. Censorship is what he wants to do. People have too much time on their hands, he said. Do they? I wonder why. Doctors got fired. Scientists have been fired. People going with bad water. Municipalities that think they can get away with their laws that they make up to run people's lives. And I think if we all got together as Canadians, you've seen what happened in Ottawa with the trucker convoy and the Canadians and the handicapped people that got ran over by horses. It's time to stop and think about this. If we get into Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have a say in changing the rules, which is best for Canadians. If something needs to be fixed, let's fix it. Now's the time to stand up for our rights. The Charter Bill, Charter rights, our human rights. The people that want to go against us, we can prosecute them to the highest level. Like Justin Trudeau and Christine Freeland and Dr. Tam's been doing, interfering for years in Canadian business. If they want a new resolution to all this, it should be stopped now. And the only ones that can do it is legally is us. The Canada Coalition for Farmers, Truckers, who's our backbone of the country of Canada, and you as a Canadian can make a difference today in our world. Sure. It's time to stop it now, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to rectify the situation from a gold digger spoon type of a person that hasn't got an idea of what Canadians are going through. No one does. Nobody knows what you've gone through in life. Everybody has a story. Everybody. Each and every one of us has our own stories of mishaps, being untreated unfairly, discriminated against for what they believe, and most of all, we have a government that thinks that, I'll say it straight, that his shit don't stink and her shit don't stink. It's time to change that. Now, I definitely need help on this because anything's above my pay grade. People are starving each month. They can't get ahead. They go without good drinking water. It's not just one thing. It's all things. And it's all things that matter. I'm Dan Cairns, a.k.a. Diamond Dan. You probably seen my post. You thought, here goes another person that wants to rant and rave over the internet. I'm not ranting. I'm just saying that it's you. It's me. That's going to make a difference. We all know that Pierre Poilievre would be a good candidate for Canadians. But if we all join forces in the Canada Coalition of farmers, truckers, and Canadians and had our say in Parliament, where we could all walk through the door, sit down, discuss what should be done for Canada, not what's going to be done for Canada. But our Charter of Rights and Freedoms of free speech, free expression, back on the boards. And our human rights for all us Canadians that are disabled out there. I can't show you right now, but in this little community that I live in Holt Tyler, Ontario, Canada, the sidewalks are never maintained. We have fire hydrants here that have broken pipes and they'll never fix them, according to the fire chief here in Black River, Madison. The sewers and water mains are not upgraded for years and years and years. People's taken them into council meetings. There's even a video done by City TV on Holt Tyler water. You can watch it, ladies and gentlemen. How brown this water is when it first starts up on the taps. Clears out after a few minutes, but they say that's okay to drink. Now, if we were in Parliament, that wouldn't be okay. Everybody across Canada deserves fresh, good drinking water. Yes, it might take some time. We can't snap our fingers and go, poof, it's done overnight. But if we work together as Canadians, as we should, we could have our say. Please put your comments down below. What you think. PM me on Facebook, Twitter, if you like. I'd like to know what you guys think. I'd like to know if you think this is a good idea. I'm just the one that thought up the name. But this is the way that I'm thinking. I can't tell you how to think. or how you want to react to this, because I'm not you. Ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you, I've lived on the streets in Toronto, underneath the Kipling Bridge years and years and years ago. I slept with just a towel or a sheet around me in the middle of October. Woke up one morning and there was frost, and I was cold, 5:30 in the morning. Burying my cans of food that social services would only give me maybe $50 a month to live on. That's right, $50 at that time. It might be $100 now if you're living on the streets. You wonder why we have poverty throughout Canada. You wonder why people are dying on the streets because they haven't eaten in a couple of days. I had to make a makeshift tent out of a piece of carpet that I got lucky about, wrapped around a tree. Talk about miracles. I woke up the next morning with a foot of snow on the ground. I was warm. But there was still snow on the ground. I'd go to a mall. I'd go to the Kipling Mall to the bathroom and wash up in the morning. If I needed a shave, I'd take my little kit with me, sneak in, have a shave, clean up, use the facilities. Walked around, found a job. There was a construction company at the time. Give me a job for a week or two while I lived in my makeshift tent in a bush area at the corner of Kipling and Albion. Now, talk about miracles. I walked into a high-rise on the southeast corner of Kipling. A gentleman walked past me and he says, "Can I help you?" I said, "Not unless you got a job for a fella." This is where the miracle come in. The owner of the property, God rest his soul, said that he had a job for me. Give me keys to a 2-bedroom apartment plus a wage. From that time, I've lived on the streets after that. They wanted 2 people to run the building, not just one. I ran it for 9 months. Some of you that might see me on here, I was your superintendent at Kipling Towers. 95% of my building was Iraqians from Iraq. And I can honestly say, God bless them. Christmas time, at any given time, the respect that these people gave me and treated me like I was one of their own. Okay? I learned a lot. But the respect, it doesn't matter which nationality you are. At all. Creed, color, doesn't matter. And it shouldn't matter to Canadians. We are Canadians. We're still people. We're still human beings. Aboriginals, when I was up in Nikina before I bought this place, helped me do my roof on my house. And didn't charge me very much. But at Christmas time, I cooked. And I give back my appreciation to them, which I thank them very much to this day. Each and every one of us, like I said, has a story out there, ladies and gentlemen. And this rhetoric that Trudeau thinks he's going to step in on Canadians like he did in Ottawa with smoke grenades, rubber bullets, running people over with horses, injuring people on a peaceful protest. peaceful. He wants to stop us from speaking out. As China calls him, he's a little potato. Yeah, I don't know if they're talking about his manhood or what, but he ain't got much, obviously. You can tell when he's sitting down in the chair. But the rest of us Canadians do. Even if we don't, we do. And it's time to stand up. Legally, in a binding, and change the laws of this country for the better for each and every one of us. I'm Dan Cairns from Whole Tyler, Ontario, bringing you my thoughts. Let's see what we can do. I mean, I want to know where we can go from here. Pierre Pauliette, if you're listening to this video, I'd like to talk to you, sir, to see what we can do, where we can go, what revolution we can deal here with between the Canadian people, the farmers, the truckers that keep the food on our tables, the Canadian workers, the Canadians all themselves, including myself. Bring peace and harmony back to this country as it was years ago. So Canadians can live in freedom. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope I'm sorry I took up so much of your time on this matter, but it's matters that has to be discussed. Instead of doing rallies or protests that's going to get somebody shot and killed, let's do it legally and get somebody into Parliament that is going to work for the Canadian people, not for themselves or their pockets or their friends or their family. Shall we talk again? Thank you very much. Dan Cairns, Whole Tyler, Ontario, Canada. Saying, I'm with you all the way. Now who's with us?